Welcome to Gentle Vinyasa Flow. My name is Olivia Rayner Shine and I will be leading you through this practice. I want you to keep in mind that I'm just a guide. You are the true navigator of your practice. This is your body, this is your yoga. If you ever have any questions on how to find what fits in your frame, feel free to give me a call, text me, locate me on any of the social media platforms, and I'll be glad to help you find your yoga. For today, we'll get started in a seated position. Feel free to lift your seat as I have. This gives the hip flexors a little rest. Sometimes our knees start to rise up and it makes us uncomfortable. So we're gonna connect ourselves to the ground in the most comfortable way possible. And slowing down your movement to find stillness, listening to your breath, and just taking note of how you feel. Maybe you can start to shut down your senses by closing the eyes or letting the gaze be soft. And just feel into your being for a moment here. And just listen. Maybe your breath is cool, maybe it's hot. There's no right or wrong answer. And as you feel your inhalations start to elongate, we can take our hands to our belly. And as if we have a balloon in our belly, inhaling through the nose to fill that balloon up. And really just let go of your abdomen here. Allow for the belly to expand and contrast naturally. As it contracts, feeling the diaphragm at work. This magical muscle that works when we don't tell it to and then listens when we tell it to. Inhaling through the nose, you're welcome to take an audible exhale through the mouth. And now as you're inhaling, we can go ahead and engage some of those ab muscles to feel a lift rather than an expansion. And as you contract, again, feeling that lift. Allowing the diaphragm to get to work, to warm up your whole body with your breath. We can move our hands up to the rib cage and feeling the expansion through the ribs as our lungs inflate and deflate. And starting to gain control over those muscles as well. A common metaphor is to knit the ribs. So almost as if you have this imaginary thread going through each bone to connect them in the middle. This just gives us a nice topping to our core. We can move our hands to stack on our chest and feeling your chest lifting as you inhale and falling naturally with the exhale. Keeping your neck and shoulders soft as you rise, and as you exhale, you can take the hands to the knees, and we'll start to focus our breath through the nose only. If you'd like to tense up the muscles in the back of the throat to take Ujjayi breathing, this will start to warm you up even faster. Inhaling through the nose to lift the chest. Exhaling to curve the spine. Gently inhaling to lift the chest. And letting it go with a gentle tuck of the pelvis. We're going to wake up our spine with our breath here. And with your next inhale, you can lift the gaze gently to the third eye and tucking to look towards the belly button. Nothing too forced, just flowing with your breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Inhale to find a neutral spine. If you've got anything under your seat here, go ahead and remove that. And we'll take our legs out in front and pulling your left knee in to place your left foot on the mat in front of you. We'll take about a hand's distance in between to keep our hips nice and alleviated. Lifting your left arm high into the sky to place it behind you, pulling that left knee close with your right hand. Go ahead and look over that left shoulder gently. Breathe here. In through the nose and out through the nose. Keeping both legs engaged to really get into this heat. Inhaling to untwist, let that foot join the other, and bring your right foot back, leaving that hand's distance in between, lifting your right hand high into the sky to place it behind you on the mat, pulling that right leg in with your left hand and finding that twist gently, peering into the right corner of your eye, breathing, allowing your crown to float high above the body. Maybe give a nice cleansing exhale. Inhale to untwist and let the legs join each other to find Dandasana. So we'll keep a nice engagement with flexed feet, feeling those heels pushing straight out in front of you as if you were standing on something or trying to push away the wall. Engaging through your calves and quads, so the knees are flexed here. Hands beside you at your hips, pressing into the mat and looking down at your belly button. We'll take 5 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. Lifting to inhale, keeping that lift as you exhale. Warming up the whole body in this stillness. Feeling engagement through your shoulders, through your ribs. And one more inhale and exhale to release. You can rock those feet back and forth and bring those feet together. Now, some people call this cobbler's pose. I think that's if you have your feet closer to you. It's cobbler's pose. I call it butterfly. This is Baddha Konasana. And if you have your feet together in front of you, wherever feels nice, it can be closer to your pelvis or further away. We're going to take an inhale to pull the chest towards the feet and exhale to release over the legs. Inhale and continue to pull that chest forward, and exhale and feel the expansion through the inner thighs, maybe in the glutes. If you'd like to hold your feet, you can use your elbows to gently push your legs down. Inhaling to expand. Exhale. Inhale and bring the body up. And we'll come onto our knees if it's comfortable for you. If you'd like to take another position, that's fine. Now, we're going to tuck our toes under so that we can start to wake up all these 26 bones and muscles and joints while we warm up our wrists as well. So we'll get into all these tiny joints. You can grab your pinky toe and make sure she's joining the party. And we'll bring our wrists together, out in front. As you inhale, we'll rotate towards ourselves and exhale to push it away. Inhale, exhale. Working with your own breath here, keeping the hands touching only at the wrist. Just let the rest of your arm follow naturally. You'll start to feel the engagement through your shoulders. And coming back to neutral. And reversing that current, push it away and bring it back. Exhaling to push it away. Inhaling as you return. Exhale, and we'll take hold of our imaginary jars out in front. So you're kind of clawing at the air here. If your feet are feeling intense, you can go ahead and sit down on your feet, or you can come up high on your knees if that's more comfortable. Whatever feels good for you. I'm going to continue to stretch out my toes here. They need it. So with our jars, take our jars out in front, and we'll just exhale to rotate. In. Inhale to open, exhale to close. Nice and slow. As if you've got these buttons on a wall that you're rotating. And then we'll take our arms out into a T and do the same. Inhaling to open, exhaling to rotate forward. And with your own breath, inhale and exhale. We'll bring the arms down. Sit back on those feet. Shake it all out. And then we'll come up to tabletop. Hands and knees. And find what works for you here. If you need a little assistance underneath your wrists, that's fine. You want to almost feel like you're still holding onto those jars here. So maybe you feel like you have claws digging in, but really engage this part of your palm, the underside of your knuckles here. With a micro bend in the elbows, pull your left leg back onto the ball of the foot and just stretch it out. Rock back and forth. Maybe roll through that ankle. Let it flow naturally. We just had that toe squat, so probably needs a little more movement. And we'll come back to neutral. And we'll just gently let that foot float up into the air, keeping our shoulders and our hips square. Inhale to lift. And we'll exhale and we'll tuck that knee in towards our nose. 2 more of those. Inhale to lift. Exhale to tuck. Inhale to lift, keeping those hips square. This time, as you exhale, pushing up to the fingertips, we'll place that left foot on the mat in front of us for Anjanae Asana. Now, when you're in this position, it can be very tempting to have, on a balance beam almost here, if your foot is right in front of your knee. This is a delightfully challenging pose. But what we're going for is this train track where we kind of just flow with your hips. Wherever your hips go, that's where it should be. So in our low lunge Anjanae Asana, pulling our arms up overhead with the inhale, looking up to the third eye. Breathe here, pulling that right hip forward, pressing through the bottom of the left foot, really engaging the whole body. Inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to take our bodies towards that leg into a T position, looking over that left shoulder. Looking over that right shoulder. Now that's the left. Inhale and exhale. We'll bring that arm forward to frame the foot and take it back to meet the other one. And pulling that right leg back now onto the ball of the foot. Give it a nice roll out. Keeping a micro bend in those elbows, so we're pushing the ground away. We'll find stillness and gently lift that right leg into the air. Keeping the hips and shoulders square. Inhale to lift. Exhale, we'll tuck. Inhale and tuck. Inhale to push the ground away. Exhale, bring that right foot onto the mat, finding the perfect distance for your body. Inhaling to swoop the arms up overhead, keeping engagement through the core, keeping those glutes tucked. Inhale. And on your next exhale, open it up into a T. And if you'd like, go ahead and look back over that right shoulder. Going with this twist, feeling the natural, feeling that natural cleansing of the organs. Inhale, exhale, we'll bring the hands to the floor and pull that right leg back to meet the other. And send those hips back for Balasana, child's pose. Take some deep breaths here. Noticing what your breath sounds like and feels like. What your body feels like. Are you warm? Is there anything that still needs attention? From here, we'll take an inhale to look at the hands. Exhale to tuck the toes, very gently pushing the hips up high into the sky, pushing the ground away with your feet and your palms, keeping the shoulders rotating under, maybe a micro bend in the elbows. I still have my heels very high lifted. Finding downward facing dog. Exhale and slowly let those heels drop to the floor. Feeling the engagement, the stretch through the backs of the legs. Breathe as you lift the hips. Pulling the chest through those elbows, through those shoulders. Inhale and exhale. We'll bend those knees down to the mat and we'll find another child's pose. One more breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, tuck the toes, push it back up for downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And with your next inhale, go ahead and lift that right heel high into the sky. Keeping that right hip down. Feeling the engagement through the arms, through the shoulders. As you exhale, we're going to swing that leg through to find our high lunge. So same thing as with Anjanae Asana. You want to keep your feet on your tracks of your hips. So as you find your balance here, bring our arms up overhead. Breathing. You're always welcome to drop that back knee. That's more than welcome. And with your next inhale, we'll bring the arms to our chest, bring our chest forward, and rotate towards that leg, towards your right leg, Your left elbow can find the outside of your right leg and pushing into your palms so that your palms can find the center of your chest again. Breathing here as you look to your right in this delicious twist. I'm sure you're feeling it. We're going to take one more breath. And as you exhale, bring the palms to the floor, pushing that right leg back to downward dog. And let's take that on the left side. Inhale to bring the heel up. Find your square hips, keeping that foot flexed in the sky. And with your next exhale, swing it through. Find your tracks. Find your balance and bring your arms up overhead. They can be apart, wherever is best. Take a few breaths here. Keeping those hips tucked gently. We'll bring our palms to our chest. Inhale to bring the chest forward. Exhale to rotate towards that left leg. Finding the elbow on the outside of the thigh and pushing in with your left hand to rotate your chest towards that side. Inhale here. Feel the squeeze. Trust yourself. Feeling grounded. With your next exhale, we'll bring it forward. Bring that left foot back to meet the right. Finding downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. As you exhale, look to the top of the mat. And with your inhale, we'll walk tippy toe those feet right on up to meet the hands at the top of your mat. Maybe you have a gentle bend in the knee, letting the crown be heavy. You can hold on to the backs of those calves, shins. Breathing. Finding stillness. You can straighten those legs. And we'll take a little forward fold twist. So, placing your right hand on the floor about a foot distance in front of you. Picking up your left elbow high into the sky, extending that left arm, looking up towards that left hand. Make sure your weight is evenly distributed between your 2 feet and your hand. Breathing here. As you exhale, we'll trade those hands out. Inhale, take that right elbow up to the sky, extending the arm and peering right through that corner of your eye, finding an even balance. And as you exhale, taking both hands to the ground. And as we bend into our knees, you can wiggle your feet out a little bit, maybe to the width of your mat. And we'll bend into our knees to find Malasana. If you'd like to take your hands at prayer position, that's good. Now this one's a challenge for me, but I still like to throw it in the mix. So we're lifting through the pelvis and through the core and keeping our shoulders back. Pressing our thighs open with our elbows. Breathe. And as you exhale, place your hands on the mat. Take a seat. And we'll go ahead and with our hands on our knees, gently rolling down to lay on our backs. Bringing our knees to our chest. Go ahead and massage out that lower back. And we'll go ahead and cool it down. Going the other way as well. Gotta give both sides a chance to get loosened up. And we'll find our knees bent towards our armpits. You can hold on to your inner thigh. You can hold on to the inner calf. You're welcome to hold on to the feet, the heels. Take 2 fingers around the big toe. All of those are great options as long as your shoulders are back flat on the ground. And we'll take 5 deep breaths here in Happy Baby. If you like to rock side to side, maybe extending one foot. Inhale and maybe take a cleansing exhale through the mouth. And release the knees to the chest. Wiggle it out a little bit more. And now we'll take our knees up to the chest and let them fall to the right. Taking our arms into a T position, pushing into the left hand on the ground so that our shoulders flatten out here. Sorry, pushing into the right hand to really twist it up. And you can peer over that left shoulder towards the left hand to intensify. If there is a preferred spinal twist for you, feel free to take that instead. We'll be here for about 30 more seconds. And just letting that spine release from all of the warmth we've been building. And using your hands to assist, you can push into the floor with your left hand and use your right hand to pick up the knees towards your chest. And let the legs fall towards the left. And we'll take a similar T shape with our arms, whatever feels good. Pushing into that left hand and looking over our right shoulder. Breathing here. Giving all of our organs a little cleansing bath with each inhale. Feeling a gentle twist, deeper with each exhale. And pushing into the ground with your right hand, using your left hand to help those knees up over your chest. You can go ahead and place the feet on your mat. Lower them all the way to the ground. Arms can be by your side. They can be wide, wherever feels best. If you'd like to have any cushions, any place for your Shavasana, I welcome that. And see if you can shut down your senses once more as we find a close. Feeling the ground supporting against our shoulders, against the back of our head, against the tailbone and the sacrum, the backs of our legs, our heels, and all of these points melting into the ground.